Alright, Terror of the Vervoids. It's cold outside.
We are all aware of your feelings of sorrow, Doctor. Has the recess given you sufficient time to overcome the distress of your bereavement?
I doubt that there will ever be sufficient time for that, my lady.
May we not proceed, my lady? The cavalier manner in which the doctor permitted his young companion to be destroyed militates against this charade of concern.
The doctor is fighting for his life, Valliard. However, I do take your point. Doctor, are you ready to present your evidence?
Yes. Yes, I am grateful to you, madam, for according me the same privilege as the Valliard and allowing me access to the Matrix. My excursion will be into the future.
The future? Is it going to be the doctor's defense that he improves?
Precisely.
This I must see.
My submission concerns a crisis which threatens the lives not only of a group of people confined together with no means of escape, but would, if unresolved, threaten every mortal being on the planet Earth.
Proceed.
Mogar, a planet on the Perseus arm of the Milky Way, rich in rare metals. A top priority consignment of these precious metals is being loaded aboard Hyperion 3, an intergalactic liner that ferries between Mogar and Earth. A scheduled flight in the Earth year 2986. The crew is aboard. The last passengers are reporting in. Many will never complete the journey. For in order to protect a secret hidden on the space liner, one will become a murderer.
Am I expected to trust my life for millions of miles to a bunch of incompetents who can't even get my luggage aboard without losing it?
Your luggage, Professor? It's not in your cabin.
Really? Do I have to repeat myself?
I'm sure we can sort it out.
Problems, Janet. Let me help.
And who are you?
Security Officer Runge, Professor. Now, which cabin did you go to?
You're asking, and you're the security officer. Cabin 6, where else?
May I see your key, please? No. The other way round, I think. You are in cabin 9, and that is where you will find your luggage, Professor.
Let's hope so.
We all have that one rude
You're in
customer.
cabin 6, Mr. Grenville.
Mr. Grenville, Security Officer Runge, if you have any
Mr.
problems...
Hallett, how pleasant. At least one face not belonging to a stranger.
I'm sorry, I think you must be mistaken.
No, surely not. We met 3 years ago on Stella Stora. You came to investigate shortages at the granary.
My name is Grenville, and I've never been to Stella Stora. You're obviously confusing me with someone else.
Well then.
Even the voice is the same.
An investigator.
Brookner, go and check the safety measures for the isolation room. Immediately.
That's the final batch. Get you in the shop.
Hyperion Flight 113 is now in progress.
Me and PE.
Carrot juice.
It'll do you good. Honestly, carrots are full of vitamin A.
They say
Mel.
vitamin? I say
Have
vitamin.
you studied my ears lately?
It's your waistline I'm concerned about.
No. Seriously, though. Is it my imagination, or have they started to grow longer?
Listen, when I start to call you Neddy, then you can worry. Drink up.
You'll worry sooner when I start to bray.
Startled me. You haven't got your translator switched on, sir.
Why did we not depart on schedule?
We were delayed for a late arrival. Gentleman from your planet, as a matter of fact.
On the Guardian?
Yes, sir. Anything interesting?
Maybe. Unidentified craft. I've tried all the standard frequencies.
Without response?
Not a bleep.
Perhaps it's a piece of space flotsam.
You make delicious coffee, Janet.
Oh, well, if you don't want the benefit of my advice.
Let's try you on hyperfrequency.
Quickly, Mel, press the red button. Get the message on the screen. Press it! Press it!
You said red.
Did I? Must be the carrot juice making me colourblind.
Mayday call. We have to respond.
Practically on our doorstep.
Come on, Doctor. Come on, hurry.
How I keep up with you is a constant source of amazement to me.
No one sends a mayday call unless it's a matter of life and death.
Yes. Let's exercise the grey cells for once, shall we? Rather than the muscles. Well, that was no ordinary mayday call. It was beamed specifically at the TARDIS.
So it's from someone who knows you.
Miss, why wasn't it signed?
Panic, desperation. Well, we won't find out by hanging about in here, will we?
We won't go blundering into a trap either.
I've never seen this side of you before. You're usually the one who goes charging in regardless.
Can't you sense it, though?
Sense what?
Evil. There's evil in this place. I've got a better idea. Let's go to Paroshy for a fascinating
Doctor!
Doctor! So much for your enthusiasm. Let me do the talking. Now listen, my man, I can explain.
Shut up, move. You never heard anything.
Not a sound.
Nor saw anything.
I've already told you.
No one's blaming you, Larry. But I thought, perhaps, now that your head is clearer,
I was concentrating on the unidentified craft.
from which you failed to get a response.
Mr. Edwards, what about the security tape?
Deactivated, sir.
Which indicates knowledge of our procedures.
Just my thoughts too, Commodore.
I'm sure. How about the rest of the equipment?
Perfect order, sir.
Now, that leaves only one objective your assailant could have had.
To send a message.
I was trying not to state the obvious, Mr. Rudge. Well, that'll do. Report to the medic before returning to duty.
Will you please stop poking that contraption into my spine?
We heard a noise in the cargo. Mr. Roger found these two.
Is it? Yes, it is. Captain Tonka Travers.
Commodore.
Oh.
Of all the places in this infinite universe, you have to turn up on my ship.
Commodore. And that means this is a grade 1 security craft.
Yes. And I should like to know how you got here.
Don't bother, Rudge. I know how. What I don't know is why.
But didn't you send the mayday call?
Me?
No, we had to respond.
That's true, sir.
I am fully conversant with the navigational code, Mr. Edwards. I thought you were reporting to the medic.
Yes, sir.
I authorized no Mayday signal. My communications officer is attacked and then you appear.
And a fat lot of thanks we've got for our pains.
If I seem to lack gratitude, young woman,
Melanie, known as Mel.
it is because on the previous occasion that the doctor's path crossed mine, I found myself involved in a web of mayhem and intrigue.
Saved your ship, though, Commodore.
Yes, you did, though whether it would have been at risk without your intervention is another matter.
Whatever happened in the past doesn't alter the fact that a Mayday call was sent.
Not by you, though, Commodore, so let's make this hail and farewell.
Stand easy, Doctor, you're not leaving.
Why not?
I'd rather have you where I can see you than swanning around outside. Conduct them to the lounge. Consider yourself restricted to passenger quarters.
In other words, welcome aboard.
Stowaways. I could have done without that in my final service report.
If you're expecting an easy ride on your last voyage, mister, I'm afraid you're not going to get it.
I think you're being a mite unfair, sir.
Am I? Well, don't be too diligent in policing the doctor.
Can I have clarification of that instruction, sir?
Give him enough rope and he will snare our culprit for us.
Far cry from the carefree life of Pease Pottage, eh, Mel?
I'm not complaining. You're really worried, aren't you?
I can't rid myself of the feeling I'm being used. Whoever sent that message knew me.
There's a made-to-measure candidate.
There is?
The Commodore. He's met you before.
You've said.
Would he? Admit he needs outside assistance.
An intriguing possibility, but that's all.
Look, the quickest way out of this is to solve the mystery.
That could also be the quickest way into trouble.
Why don't you ask for a passenger list?
Don't hustle me, Mel.
Who's hustling? All I'm saying is that you might recognize a name. Simple, isn't it?
Meanwhile,
I wander around, poke my nose into a few nooks and crannies, and see if anyone tries to make contact. Remember, we were restricted to the passenger quarters. This is only the lounge.
Looking for something, miss?
I see you at the gymnasium.
Needed on a long trip like this.
I thought I might do a bit of limbering up.
That's the spirit. Let me take you there.
So you can keep tabs on me.
Why would I want to do that?
I wonder if you can help me.
I'll do my best.
I'd like to see a copy of the passenger list.
What do you need an isolation room? Speaking of which, I need to use the gym more. I'm getting a bit heavy now.
Put the headset on, miss. Sorry. If you get tired of aerobics, just select another tape. They come complete with instructions and music.
important. It's just a whim. I'm subject to whims, so I'm told.
The doctor wants a passenger list.
Why not? Indeed, the idea makes good sense.
Well, if I could just spot a familiar name.
We get our culprit. You'll bid us farewell. Then I should have thought of that myself, Doctor. Sign of age. I'm due to retire after this voyage.
No, all complete strangers, I'm afraid. Pity. Thank you.
He's been in touch. He wants you to meet him in cabin 6.
Did you see him? Get a name.
No, just a message. Let's go.
Ah, before you go rushing off now, do you know what a Judas goat is?
Yes, it's a decoy goat that's tied to the stake to lure the tiger out into the open.
Getting badly mauled in the process. I think I shall refuse the role.
And then where are you going?
For a non-provocative stroll around the deck.
You appalling, Dr. Heatherlow. Couldn't you prepare this?
I assumed you'd want to see the damage for yourself.
And I suppose it never penetrated your thick academic skull to check the pods.
That was the first thing I did. They're stable.
Professor Lasky,
Meet your seat. They're gone.
Hello? Anyone at home?
You're not supposed to be in here.
And what about you? Going for a stroll? You just said that to put me off.
There's no sense in putting two heads into the noose.
Ever heard of safety in numbers? Looks like someone's been in a fight for their life.
Yes. Question is, did they succeed?
Yes? Would you come down, sir?
Where?
Waste disposal unit. There's been an accident.
What is it?
Emergency in the waste disposal unit.
Nothing, sir.
Why can't you use plain language, mister? Whoever's been dumped in there has been pulverized into fragments and sent floating in space, and in my book, that's murder. You called a medic for this man?
Well, of course, sir. Straight away.
Then I suggest you begin earning your salary and find out who that belongs to.
I may be able to help you there, Commodore.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
You'd rather I left it to Mr. Rudd.
The passenger in cabin 6 sent for the doctor. When we got there, he was gone.
Doesn't follow that he wound up in the pulverizer.
The room was a wreck.
And there was a single shoe. Exactly the same pattern as that.
To be complete, the syllogism only requires its grim conclusion.
And naturally, you have never met the man or know why he sent for you.
We don't even know his name.
It was Grenville, sir. A mineralogist.
Any suggestions why a mineralogist who wanted to see you should be killed?
None at all?
Or why it is that every time you appear on the scene, people begin to die?
Hey, I don't care who you are. You've no right to say that to the doctor.
Yes, he does, Mel.
Well, never mind them. Is the isolation room safe?
Yes. The emergency was in the waste disposal unit.
Then we can relax. Nothing to do with us.
That's your assessment, is it, Professor? The danger's past?
Well, that's it then. End of the line.
What do you mean?
Well, our contact. Obviously, he's the one who's been pulverized.
So we can keep up.
What else?
The hydroponic center. I told you about a sudden panic when I was in here.
My dear Melanie, if you wish to pursue this completely arbitrary course, pray hurry along to the hydroponic center and leave me to my static and solitary peregrinations. Hold it! Just a minute. I don't remember that.
How could you remember? These events are in your future.
But I reviewed that section earlier when I was preparing my defense. There have been changes. That isn't what happened. The girl, Melanie, her information was important. I wouldn't have just ignored it, completely uncharacteristic, and the words. misuse, and even sound like mine.
What isn't completely uncharacteristic is this resort to excuses and subterfuge. To gloss over the death of Perry, the Doctor conveniently presents us with another companion.
Hardly a convenience, Valliard. These events are in the Doctor's future. He would not have met the young woman yet.
I stand corrected, but my assumption of why he has pursued such an arbitrary course in aborting this tale still remains.
Arbitrary course?
Your assumption, Valliard.
That she too is going to her death.
No! No, look, I'm sorry, madam, I can't explain, but I have a feeling I am being manipulated. That the evidence is being distorted.
Preposterous! Absolutely preposterous! Forgive me, sagacity. The idea the Matrix could lie. No, it is we who are being manipulated.
No!
To obscure the damaging truth.
No, this is total fabrication.
The truth, Doctor! You sent your companion down the cargo hold into a situation which you described, I quote, "Can't you sense it, Mel? Evil? There's evil in this place?"
No! No, this is all wrong. Every instinct of which I am capable would have made me prevent her.
Yet you did not.
Doctor, either you continue with your submission or I must consider the evidence for the defense to be concluded.
What are you doing prowling around down here?
Prowling? Why should I be prowling?
Because this is off limits, and I suspect you know it.
I just wanted to have a peep at the hydroponic center.
Any reason in particular?
I think it might
Why is the
be
TARDIS like
mysterious
green?
mayday call. I'm not going to touch anything. What harm could it do?
I'll no doubt regret this. Well, come on, a conducted tour only, no wandering off on your own.
Tell me, who's the woman with the dragon's voice?
Professor Sarah Lasky, she's an agronomist. And so are two assistants, Bruckner and Dolan.
So was the hydroponic center set up specially for them?
Yes, we had to allocate part of the whole.
Why is only low spectrum light allowed in the place?
Something to do with photosynthesis. Low spectrum light allows the plants to stay dormant. Now, I'll go first. We don't want you breaking your neck. At least not until...
Well, that was unexpected.
allowed in the place?
Something to do with photosynthesis. Low spectrum light allows the plants to stay dormant. Now, I'll go first. We don't want you breaking your neck. At least not until...
Whoever's in charge of the cameras are very good at their job. I love the camera angles.
What are you doing here? You told not to come down.
Edward! He's dead! He just touched the...
Save your explanations for the comical lady.
He's dead, all right.
Stay with him. I'll send help. Move.
Another death, Doctor. But for the caprice of chance, the victim would have been your companion, Mel. Your culpability is beyond question.
You could have prevented her from going into the cargo hold. Instead, you appeared to encourage her.
When I viewed the Matrix earlier, that isn't what happened.
More futile grasping at straws. When the facts tell against you, cry fraud.
Do you wish to reconsider, Doctor?
No, madam. I am being manipulated. But the only way to discover why, and by whom, is to press on.
Just an accident. No cause for concern. The stewardess will take care of that.
Why aren't you wearing a pulsometer? The heart should be monitored while exercising.
Which heart would you suggest, madam? Unfortunately, that doesn't register a double pulse.
A double pulse? What are you, a comedian?
No, more a sort of clown, actually. Would you care to hear my rendering of On with the Motley?
Doctor, you're required on the bridge.
Ah! The Commodore wants a chat. Good. I shall enjoy that.
I don't think you'll find enjoyment on the agenda.
I don't need anyone to speak up for me. I'm quite capable of defending myself.
How long have you known this woman?
Time is a comparative concept, Commodore.
Not now, Doctor. Just answer the question.
I should accept that advice and drop the sophistry. Can you vouch for her?
Completely, utterly. What's all this about, Mel?
Communications officer's dead and they think I did it.
She was caught running from the siege. She can't deny
I
that.
haven't tried. I persuaded Edwards to show me the hydroponic center. It was booby-trapped.
Booby-trapped?
If it hadn't been for Edwards, it would have been me who was killed.
What? Are you certain? What is it?
It's the medical team. They say they can't find Edwards anywhere in the hold, sir.
But he must be there.
Well, perhaps he wasn't dead. The weird atmosphere down there could lead to phantasmagoria.
Oh, come on, you know me. Am I prone to that sort of imagination?
I thought you left a man down there.
I did, sir.
Well, where is he? Rudge?
They say there's no sign of him either, sir.
Guards disappeared too. Well, now perhaps you'll accept that I'm not responsible. You've had me in custody.
The perfect alibi, Commodore.
Organize a search, Mr. Rudge. I want those men found.
Yes, sir.
Now, since you put in an appearance, first a passenger, now my communications officer and a guard have gone missing. 2, if not all 3, murdered. But you standing there in your divine state of innocence, you can't tell me what's happening, can you?
I can. And the answer's simple enough. You've got a killer on board. Look, Doctor, you can't just play a passive role. We were sent for, remember?
I'm cogitating
About what?
whether his job is to keep unwanted visitors out or...
Keep someone in.
No matter how you and Professor Lasky rationalize the situation, we should never have proceeded to the point we've reached. How you became a scientist book number.
I love whodunits.
The temperament of another
I just like crime mystery dramas. Makes you think.
Do you leave the gates open? Dora! The port! Every one of them! Fool must have introduced high-intensity light into this thing. We're confronted with a catastrophe, and that's your reaction. Don't you realize what's been unleashed? Not again.
What's going on in there?
Don't ask me. I'm not in the security officer.
Where are they?
Where are who?
You know exactly what I mean. Where are the seeds? The ones you picked up in the wrecked cabin? Or did you think I'd forgotten?
Dara?
Oh,
Well, what do you want them for?
Professor Lasky. She's an agronomist. I'm going to ask her.
Is she? An agronomist, huh? You better leave me to cope with this.
You?
You This is a situation that requires tact and finesse. Fortunately, I am blessed with both. Professor Lasky.
Oh, it's you, the comedian. What do you want?
I understand that you're an agronomist.
A thaumatologist, to be precise.
A trematologist. Then you're well qualified to tell me about these.
Stewardess? Stewardess!
Something wrong, Professor?
Fetch the security officer.
Can I help?
At once.
May I be told what's wrong, Professor?
This man's a thief.
Mr. Rudge, to the passenger lounge, please.
Now what have you landed us in?
What was that? Keep yourself together, Bruckner. Someone in the hold.
Why does nobody ever believe someone who said, I heard something, and they obviously could hear it too, or if it's loud enough. I don't get why people don't believe them. It's just a safety measure.
That puts an entirely different complexion on the situation. Pity your friend the comedian wasn't as lucid.
I never had a chance to be...
I can't understand why they were in cabin 6, or why a mineralogist would steal them.
Are they special, Professor?
Just when
The
I was going...
Demeter seeds, yes they are. They represent a tremendous advance, a colossal leap.
What did you call them? The Demeter seeds?
Name of a god.
Food of the gods. Bruckner, my assistant, bit of a romantic, highly strung, he christened them.
That still
He
doesn't
wasn't
explain...
just being pretentious. They'll increase potential yield 3-fold, and even more, they'll grow in desert sands. What is it, man? Don't stand there hovering.
You sent for him.
I did. Oh yes, not to worry.
But I do worry.
I just love the doctor's just like, you sent for him.
You accused the doctor of being a thief.
Oh, that? A mistake. The fellow may be a fool, but he's not a criminal.
I used to be able to do that with M&M's.
Put us onto a straighter course. Reduce the diversion to a .03 safety margin.
I estimate that brings our ETA forward by 72 hours, sir.
72 hours closer to getting expert investigators on board. Carry on.
Ooh, is that like a more advanced version of Space Invaders? Galaga and Space Invaders are my favorite classic video games, that and Pac-Man and Super Mario Brothers. So cool. There was an Dalek. That's my alert for if I get an email. Sorry.
Require my presence on the bridge. For your information, the change of course will bring our landfall.
Bollocks. Accidentally clicked out of it. Sorry.
What do you want?
Well, whether his name's Grenville or Hallett.
Then they should.
Who are you? Another prospector?
Gentlemen, is this case to be resolved?
It is the worthy Earthlings you have been first and persuaded us to allow them to seek mines on Moga. A limited...
What was that? Keep yourself together, Bruckner. Someone in the hold.
What worry? But I do worry, especially with serious allegations made. You accused the doctor of being a thief.
Oh, that? A mistake.
I'll just
The
start
fellow
from
may be a
here.
fool, but
Sorry.
he's not a criminal.
I accidentally clicked out of the app when I went to go and
Projectile
delete
course
my
to the
email.
sector ahead. Put us onto a straighter course. Reduce the diversion to a .03 safety margin.
I estimate that brings our ETA forward by 72 hours, sir.
72 hours closer to getting expert investigators on board. Carry on.
No, Doctor.
No need for concern, just a navigation adjustment. As you can see, it doesn't even require my presence on the bridge. And for your information, the change of course will bring our landfall forward by 72 hours. Switch on your translator.
Surely we are approaching the sector with the black hole and Tartars.
That's correct.
If you are saving time, we must be going closer to the black hole.
There's no danger. The safety margin is more than adequate.
That is hardly the denial.
Simply a bromide.
You sought reassurance. I have given it.
That word reassurance bears sinister undertones for we Bulgarians.
Indeed.
It is the word the Earthlings used when first they persuaded us to allow them to sink mines on Moga. A limited concession was all they requested, and now they are stripping our planet bare.
Truth is a stranger to the Earthlings.
If you'll excuse me, politics do not come into my realm of influence.
Then they should.
Who are you? Another prospector?
Only of knowledge. I have visited your planet. It's very rich in natural resources.
Which will soon be exhausted if these Earthlings are not restrained. They are going through the universe like a plague of interplanetary locusts.
Are we to be subjected to a dissertation on interplanetary politics now, sagacity?
Is that all you think it was?
Mining rights, Megarians versus Earthlings. What else would you call that?
You are so pathetically intent on incriminating me. You haven't been watching what's going on.
My eyes never left the screen.
Well, you may have been selected to prosecute me, Valiar, but I hope you'll never be chosen to defend me.
An occasion that will not arise, Doctor. Your lives are forfeit, as I have ably proven.
Something vital just happened in that scene, and the Valiard perversely switched our attention to more trivial matters.
Then, for pity's sake, tell us what it was that happened and enjoy your moment of triumph.
Well, there's no cause for celebration. One of the occupants of that lounge is about to die.
Another murder?
Yes. And if you had been watching, you would know who was the intended victim.
Gentlemen, is this case to be resolved with a battle of words or to be conducted via the Matrix?
Drawn a blank where evidence is concerned.
Yes, sir. Perhaps we should search the passenger cabins.
No. Passengers are already uneasy. Do you want them to realize they're trapped with a killer on the loose?
Very quiet now. Not quite your style to go into a brown study.
Brown study? Is the vocabulary of all the Time Lords so antediluvian?
You tried to kill him? I'm trying to save him! He will die if you remove his helmet.
Bulgarians come, we asked. Surely you're aware.
He's not a Megarian!
He's not.
Then who is he?
If you kindly allow me to remove his faceplate, I fear this poor fellow is beyond help.
It's Grenville.
The passenger from cabin 6.
The man who's supposed to have been dumped in the pulverizer.
His name isn't Grenville. It's Hallett.
Send a stretcher party to the lounge.
Yes, sir. I'll organise that immediately.
Carry on, Mr. Red.
Poor Mr. Hallett. I knew it was Hallett. I recognized him. Remember?
You recognized him?
Yes.
But he denied it. He insisted his name was Grenville.
Well, he would.
But whether his name's Grenville or Hallett, why did he stage his own death in the pulverizer?
This gentleman's just given us the answer.
Hey. Hallett had presumably been assigned to investigate something or somebody on this ship. Then he had the bad fortune to be recognized. A chance encounter that put his entire mission in jeopardy.
Are you saying we had an undercover agent aboard, and I wasn't informed?
Well, you may have been a suspect.
Me?
Together with everybody else on this voyage.
Is all this guesswork? Or have you any more tricks up your sleeve?
No tricks, Mr. Rudge. I knew Hallett, and admired him. But I assure you, until I removed that faceplate, I had no idea he was on board.
All nice and lily-white, Doctor, but it does leave one nasty little problem.
Does?
How did you know the dead man wasn't a Bulgarian?
Yeah.
How did you know? Have you been editing the Matrix and denying the court all the evidence to which
See,
it's entitled?
the Matrix can be edited. I believe it's you, Valiard.
At the risk of appearing impertinent sagacity, I would point out that you, the Valiard, and everyone here present could have acquired the same knowledge.
Perhaps we may hear your explanation.
With respect, you will not hear it from me.
Switch on your translator.
Surely we are approaching a sector with a black hole in towers.
There's no danger. Safety margin is more than adequate.
That is hardly a denial.
Simply a bromide.
As you saw, the bogus Megarian did not switch on his translator.
Very astute of you, Doctor. But don't stop there. Let us assume the murdered man was responsible for the Mayday call. Perhaps you'll now direct your deductive gifts towards justifying his extraordinary behavior.
Yes, the investigator Hallett's methods were very unorthodox.
Agreed. And I am indebted to the prosecutor for putting his finger on the nub of my defense. The reason why I could no longer stay on the sidelines.
Anyone there could have poisoned his drink.
Providing us with a plethora of suspects.
Us? Do I detect a commitment at last? Because of Hallett's death. You said you admired him.
I did. He was one of a rare breed. A maverick. Even the highly organized society of the 30th century has need of his kind. He'll be missed. And he left these seeds for me to find.
To lead you to where I've been telling you all along. The hydroponic center.
What are you doing away from your posts? The isolation room is under no circumstances to be left unguarded. If it happens again, I shall report it to the Commodore.
Hallett must have sent that Mayday call.
Yes, he wanted to be here as a catalyst and to divert attention away from his own activities.
You'd do that without being asked.
Hallett was an unorthodox man, but he was also a subtle man. So why did he resort to such blunderbuss tactics? Why use me as a Judas goat?
He was running out of time. The Mayday message said as much. Imperative traitor be identified before landing Earth. I'd guess the incomplete word was imperative, wouldn't you?
Do you know, I've always envied you that.
I should probably regret this, but go on, I'll buy it. Envied me what?
Your amazing ability for almost total recall.
Compliments. You are undergoing a change.
But I could have been comparing you to an elephant. Figuratively speaking, they never forget.
Doctor, I realise you're trying to take my mind off poor Edwards.
If you'd rather wait here.
What have you got there?
A leaf from Hallett's pocket.
I didn't see you take it.
Ah, neither did anyone else. Another one of my tricks. What do you make of these pods smell?
I'm not into agronomy. Ask the professor.
Ah, trematology. The professor said she was a trematologist.
You're going to have to enlighten me. It's out of my range.
Science of breeding or propagating animals and plants under domestication.
I'm not much wiser.
Oh, think, Mel. You've got a good brain. Think. I wonder what came out of this.
You end this charade, this pathetic pretense of normality. Can't you accept we're on the brink of disaster?
Brooke, will you stop panicking? Our work must remain secret, whatever the cost.
You're completely without conscience, Donald. I'm aware of that. But I expected the professor to grasp the enormity of our folly.
So you're suggesting that we jeopardize years of scientific research for the sake of some hypothetical danger?
Exactly. We've no reason to believe the results of of our experiments are other than benign.
Benign? Have you been in the isolation room lately?
An unfortunate mishap that has no relevance to the situation. In any case, it's academic now.
I lack your lofty detachment.
You also lack loyalty, Bruckner, to your colleagues. Before we left Mogar, we agreed that our discovery should be divulged to no one. No one, until we reached Earth. Unless you have concrete evidence to prove there is danger, I expect you to keep your word.
You simply don't understand, do you? The crime we're committing in the name of science will make us infamous. It's assuming there's anyone left to pass judgment.
Decided to get some rest, Mr. Kimber?
Yes. Though I doubt if I'll sleep. At my age, one doesn't like to be reminded of mortality.
May I fetch you a warm drink? Might help.
Thank you. It's very gracious.
Stewardess, sir. I've brought you a warm drink, sir. Shall I leave it on the dressing table?
Dermatologist been doing in an isolation room wearing a surgical mask.
Well, seeing as there's only one way to find out, you've got two problems. Apart from getting rid of the guard, you're going to need a mask, and you can hardly ask the professor to lend you hers. Did you hear that?
Quickly! The lounge, there are passengers trapped! On the double, man! There are lives at stake!
Dermatologist been doing in an isolation room wearing a surgical mask.
Well, seeing as there's only one way to find out, you've got two problems. Apart from getting rid of the guard, you're going to need a mask, and you can hardly ask the professor to lend you hers. Did you hear that?
Quickly! The lounge, there are passengers trapped! On the double, man! There are lives at stake!
So smooth.
Commodore know what's being isolated in there?
I don't know by whose authority you ask, but if it'll put a stop to your meddling, I'll explain. That monstrosity, as you call her, is my lab assistant, Ruth Baxter. We're taking her to Earth in the hope that we can reverse her condition. Our facilities on Mogar were too primitive.
What happened? How did she get in that state?
Experimental nature of our work entails some calculated risks.
Calculated risks? Are you telling me that that sad travesty is a statistical possibility?
The word should be criminal.
Very well, perhaps I should have said unforeseen. During a particularly delicate cross-fertilization, a speck of pollen penetrated a minute scratch on my assistant's thumb. She should never have left the wound uncovered, but...
Halt or I'll fire.
Oh, Doctor, you do have the knack of landing yourself in hot water.
Insatiable courteosity, like the elephant's child.
Never mind the just-so stories. That guard looks trigger-happy to me.
Simply doing his duty, miss. The regulations are quite specific. Anyone setting off a false alarm on an intergalactic liner is to be arrested forthwith.
No need to quote the book. I can explain.
Not to me, but the Commodore. He's expecting.
Take him. Come on, it's all right. I know the way.
Doctor,
Yes. I know. It's that way.
Stop the Matrix. I fail to comprehend this evidence. The Doctor is on trial for his life. Yet in his defense, he presents us with a situation in which he is deliberately flouting accepted authority.
Much of your evidence does seem to contradict your stated aim, Doctor. Are you saying the Matrix is a game being falsified?
No. And if the Valeyard would exercise the same restraint as I showed during his presentation of his case against me, and could suppress his bloodlust...
Doctor, this court is dedicated to giving you a fair trial. Do not abuse its indulgence.
I apologize.
The Matrix, Doctor. I suggest we return to the Hyperion 3.
Bring us in closer. Reduce the margin by a factor of 0.01 to 0.02.
Very narrow margin of safety, Commodore.
Not to a ship of the Hyperion class.
Still risky, though. Quirky phenomena, black holes. They can gulp with unpredictable turbulence.
When I want your advice, I'll ask for it. I'll handle this. Get back on duty. What I do want to hear from you is a reason why I shouldn't throw you in the brig. Fire alarms are not playthings for irresponsible buffoons.
Mr. Rudge! Mr. Rudge!
But what is it, Jen?
Mr. Kimber has disappeared. He didn't report to the fire assembly point, and he's not in his cabin. He hasn't touched the drink I brought him.
Well, maybe he just wandered off, absent-minded.
Without his jacket or his watch.
Now, when did you last see him?
I didn't. See him, that is. He was in the shower. I spoke to him through the door. Where can he have got to? With all these killings.
That'll do. Put yourself together. Going to pieces won't help. We'll search the passenger quarters before we start assuming the worst.
Whoa, they look awesome. That's a really cool costume
No
design.
reason to lie, Commodore. I'm not questioning your honesty, simply your methods. However, I'm left with little alternative but to begin to cooperate.
Begin? I take it you mean begin overtly to cooperate. You've been using me, Commodore. I would never have been allowed to run free if you hadn't condoned it.
Fair comment.
Frankly, I think you should notify the authorities about the death of the investigator Hallett and insist on being given full details of his mission.
You underestimate me to that extent, do you?
Sorry. They refused.
Top secret. By the time they've gone through the channels, we'll probably have docked.
Well, that comes down.
Well, no one will be allowed to disembark. Virgil won't escape.
know as soon as you get a reply.
Certainly, Doctor. I'll match you for candor.
Did you find him?
Not as fine. And you? I'll have to report we've lost another passenger. That'll improve the Commodore's temper, I'll guarantee.
Mr. Blanche.
Later.
Wait. Come here. We want to know what is happening. Yes, where was the fire?
It was a false alarm. There is nothing to worry about. You must excuse me, I have urgent things to do.
Sit down, Raj. There is only one thing you are going to do, and that is to tell us exactly what is going on. And I suggest you do so right now.
Why did you wait?
Yes? What is it? State your position.
Help me with this.
Who the blazes was that? Press that call.
You've gone out of your mind? I have been. But not anymore. I've regained my sanity. Not only your own work you're destroying. Other people have contributed. You've no right to do this. You've long ago lost sight of the difference between right and wrong. Why? Because of some unexplained incidents? On my way down here, I heard of another unexplained incident. That harmless old man is missing. How many more, Dolan, before you and Lasky accept responsibility?
I've no time for a horticultural discussion now, young woman. You and your erratic friend have already disrupted my routine.
I only asked you if you'd tell me what this leaf is.
After my workout, and that's fine.
I need to speak with you privately.
Really? Not now, Dolan.
I want you to object to your work schedule being interrupted, but this is absolutely vital.
Well,
You must make the problem calm down.
can't you?
Listen to me.
Where is he?
In the hydroponic center.
Mr. Dolan, let's pick up where we left off while you're in the mood for explanations.
Did I give you that impression?
What are those pods in the hydroponic center?
The results of another experiment.
I could have made an educated guess at that. What was in them?
Giant fruit. And anticipating your next question, we left the fruit on Mulga. We're merely taking the sharks as an example to fellow agronomists in Earthbound laboratories. Now, if you will excuse me.
Smart girl.
Is there anybody there, said the traveller? Perhaps she's in the gym. Blimey, wish I could get rid of my waste as easily, eh?
I normally can't even sit down this long without moving. Oh.
Allow me. Wish I could get rid of my waste as easily, eh?
The waste bins, where did they go?
Waste?
Quickly, woman, where are they taken?
Well, the pulverizer.
The pulver! Don't throw the towel in.
Why in Hades haven't you reported before now? As a security officer, you're an unmitigated disaster.
That's hardly fair, sir.
We've had a passenger murdered. According to you, another one's disappeared. 3 crew members are missing, unaccounted for, and you have the clue as to why they've gone or where they are.
Congratulations must be delayed until that is full. We shall have long to wait.
Oh, it's gone.
What has?
The tape. The proof we need to force Lasky's hand.
It's a waste of time. Our killer's obviously removed it.
Just as he tried to remove you.
He? Why not she?
Lasky?
Or the stewardess, Janet?
Janet?
It wouldn't have taken a man's strength to lift my weight. A woman could have dumped me in the waste bin.
What are they? How do they link with these murders?
Whatever they are, they're not human. We're all to be destroyed, remember?
Still got that bit of leaf.
Where are you off to?
Hydroponic centre, there has to be a connection.
What about me?
Well, follow your lead. See if Janet has got the tape. Well, be careful.
You too, Doctor.
Can I tempt you with a coffee, sir?
No, thank you.
How about you, sir?
Sorry.
Not to worry. It's easily changed.
I didn't do that.
Stop the matrix.
Are we to be subjected to more chicanery, Sir Guest?
It wasn't me in there.
Ridiculous. We all saw you. You're hardly mistakable in that outfit.
I didn't smash the equipment.
Are you saying the communications equipment was not sabotaged?
No, it had to be to prevent the Commodore getting information from Earth, but I didn't do it.
Then who did?
The murderer.
The murderer. I think, Inquisitor, the Doctor is telling us more than he realizes.
The prosecutor delights in scoring cheap victories, my lady. I swear to you, when I viewed that section earlier, I was nowhere near the communications room.
So once again, the defendant is accusing the Matrix of being wrong.
Are you, Doctor?
Yes. Yes, I am.
If you are questioning its veracity, is there any point in continuing with the Matrix?
So what else have I got? Without evidence to prove my innocence, I'm condemned.
And with it, you are also condemned, it seems, Doctor. Shall we continue?
Doctor. Shall we continue? You had, as before, sent your companion into danger.
don't need to call for outside help. There's no way we can repair this. We're completely isolated.
Sheer vandalism and utterly useless.
Is that how you see it?
How else?
Because I put an end to this obscene experiment.
I should think that when man first discovered fire, there were those who were equally appalled who wanted it suppressed. If they prevailed, the human race would still be cowering in caves.
Use your own phrase. That's all academic now.
If you were rational, you'd realize how pointless this is. We can't unlearn knowledge. You're no illiterate. How often has a great advance produced this reaction? Think of Galileo.
Oh, is that it? You see the name Lasky inscribed in the history books?
Rubbish. This has been a team effort.
With you as leader. Well, you fulfill that role for the last. You've led me to see the fault in my strategy. You, me, Dolan, even the creatures we've spawned, the sole representatives of this great advance. And we're all encapsulated on this ship. On this.
I didn't even hear the dinner gong.
Must be state. We are unique. The only members of the vervoid species. If he succeeds in eliminating us, vervoids will cease to exist. Forget your previous orders. Bruckner's death is now our priority. He cannot be permitted to prevent us from reaching planet Earth.
I don't care what you heard on some mythical tape.
You're letting arrogance blink you, Professor. It may not be your intention, but you are in danger of joining an extensive roll of dishonor. Misguided scientists who claim the pursuit of truth as an excuse for immoral experiments.
This is no time to debate ethics. I made that mistake with Bruckner. I tell you, the man's demented. He's out to destroy this ship and everyone on it. Just first things first, let's find Bruckner.
He'll live. Get out of here. No! Or I'll kill both of you!
Later. Get the laser lance up there immediately.
Bruckner?
Why? What's his motive?
I rather think his intention is the vital question.
All right, then what? Just tell me, Doctor.
He's determined to destroy this ship.
And the rest of us with it.
Does the lunatic know anything about flying a spacecraft?
Bruckner's been trained as an astronaut. One of the team had to be. Obligatory requirement.
Very thorough.
Ooh, pretty.
Can the power to the bridge be cut off?
No. It's designed to be hijack proof.
colleague is aiming the Hyperion 3 into the eye of the black hole of Tartarus.
And now, part 4.
Running into turbulence.
I'd say rather more turbulence.
Don't talk in riddles, man.
Your colleague is aiming the Hyperion 3 into the eye of the black hole of Tartarus.
Problem must be solved. Get every vervoid to the bridge area.
Questions later. Will smoke masks be any good?
No, they'd be completely inadequate.
You saying that none of us can go in there?
It'd be suicide.
Here, let me go.
It's my ship, if there's a risk to be taken, I'll take it.
No!
There's no need for heroics from either of you. Come to the bridge. If they make a hash of it in there, we're finished. I doubt if that will happen, Commodore. I'm grateful to you both. Now that the air is breathable, I'll resume command.
I'm afraid that isn't going to be possible, Commodore.
What he is stating, in the usually devious human manner, is that we are taking over the ship.
A hijack? But you Megarians are a peace-loving race. Violence is repugnant to you.
No one will be harmed if they obey orders.
Roger, I will personally see to it that you rot in jail.
I should restrain that tongue of yours, Commodore. The Megarians may not believe in violence, but I don't share their qualms. All my life, someone like you has been patronizing me, treating me with contempt. Well, I'd welcome the opportunity of settling the score.
Mr. Rudge, take the hostages to the passenger lounge.
Should we contact the bridge now?
Still not responding, Mr. Devon. Just tried.
Hold on, Rudge. If we're being hijacked, I think we deserve an explanation. Any more unexpected moves, and it won't be an explanation we'll get.
We're being hijacked! If you don't want to be caught, come on!
Oh, no, Doctor. Over there. Away from the door. Then you won't be tempted to try anything stupid. One moment, Commodore. I'll take the keys to the vault.
Blaze as you will.
Ow!
Lasky, reach into the Commodore's pocket and take out the keys. Carefully.
Now, what do you want in the vault?
For me, not a thing. The Megarians are after the consignment of precious metals. Got this quaint notion it was plundered from their planet. They're just recovering stolen property.
That can't be your motive.
It's greed.
Not completely. Pride as well. After this voyage, I was being written off as a has-been and put out to grass. So I decided to arrange a more comfortable retirement.
If you've any decency left, you'll get this man some medical treatment.
There's a first aid kit in the cabinet.
Rog, this hijack is just a sideshow. There's a much greater menace.
Not my problem, Doctor. In less than an hour, we rendezvous with our pickup.
Here, let me. After all, I am a doctor.
Rat, you're nothing but a squalid criminal.
If I am, where does that place you, Professor?
Hyperion 3 is no longer under the command of Commodore Chalmers. All personnel must remain at their posts. If there is any attempt to approach the lounge or the bridge, the hostages will be killed.
I'll put out a call for help.
Sorry, out of luck.
Millions of miles from anywhere, and we're completely isolated.
Can you organize a squad of guards?
But you heard what the Megarians said. They'll kill the hostages.
What makes you think they won't anyway? You're surely not naive enough to accept the word of a hijacker.
He's right. We can't just do nothing.
If the guards go crashing in, they'll be signing 4 death warrants.
Not unless we can find a way of warning the hostages.
You don't believe that Roger's behind these killings, do you? No. No, he's just a weak man gone rogue. So, whatever the outcome of this hijack, we're still at the mercy of a murderer. Or murderers.
What are you doing here? I did not request refreshment.
How did it get to you through your mask? Unless it was acid.
What you're doing in there, don't you know how dangerous it is?
Shall I join you? There's going to be an attack on the lounge. When you hear the fire alarm, dive for cover.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Too risky. Attack the bridge.
The bridge?
You heard. Now get out of that air duct. Quickly. It is not only we who kill animal kind. They kill each other. They have no respect for any form of life. We shall resume the hunt.
Oxygen's toxic to a Megarian.
Yes, but how? I mean, who could have done this?
Forget playing the detective. Let's concentrate on the living. Rudge has to be convinced that the hijack's a lost cause. That's going to take more than words.
Those faceplates. They'll do the trick. Mr. Rudge, hold your fire. We're coming in.
The Megarians are dead.
Lead him to the guards. Get up on the bridge, now. Well, once I get this ship back on course, I want some answers from you, Professor, and that goes for you too, Doctor.
I haven't been holding out on you, Commodore. There's an audio tape that'll explain everything.
Then why haven't I heard it?
Because it's been stolen, I would like carte blanche to search all the cabins.
You've got it.
Another request. I need a phaser.
A Fraser? You?
Exceptional circumstances require exceptional measures.
I don't buy that. And why the public announcement about the tape? Everyone could hear.
Could they?
I recognise that innocent tone. What's going on?
Well, I entered this affair as a Judas goat. I intend to readopt the role. Now, if Professor Lasky had the tape, where do you think she'd hide it?
Lasky? Her cabin? Or her locker in the gym?
If you're looking for a certain tape, Doctor, I don't think you'll find it in there.
Well, does that mean you've hidden it somewhere else?
Obviously, a denial isn't going to impress you. May I know of what I'm accused?
Murder, amongst other things.
Murder? Am I supposed to treat this seriously?
I have narrowed the suspects down to two. You and Professor Lasky.
Then I suggest you search the Professor's cabin.
I already have.
You really are serious.
I'm never frivolous about murder.
So, this tape, it's important?
Crucial.
I see. Well, I know I'm innocent, and I can't believe the Professor's guilty, but if it'll end this nonsense, then I know of another place where the Professor keeps things.
If you finish with my tracksuit.
I was just admiring the design.
Don't bother to lie, you're not very good at it. No tape. That's what you were hoping to find, wasn't it?
Ow! The Professor has the only key.
And you're not going to object if I force it open?
Doctor, your tape. Nothing will do you much good. I've wiped it.
Yes, I rather thought you might have done.
You still suspected me, yet you came down here.
A reckless streak. I'm prone to them. But it wasn't difficult to pinpoint you. The first murder could only have been carried out by someone with access to this unit. The second needed poison. Even the abortive attempt on Mel's life could only have been committed by someone who could go unchallenged into the isolation room and get the anesthetic.
All this could have applied to Lasky.
Not the Megarians. She was a hostage when they were slaughtered.
And my motive?
Jealousy, professional envy. I'd say it was the more commonplace avarice.
Then you're not as astute as I thought, Doctor. Those creatures, we call them vervoids, represent vast economic power.
Provided you can get them back to Earth.
Oh, I shall, no matter what the cost. Then robots can be dumped on a scrap heap. Vervoids will run the factories and farms at practically no cost. All they need is sunlight and water.
I take it you have someone willing to finance this exploitation.
A consortium with a vision to recognize the potential of the vervoids.
Vision? You're talking about slave labor.
The most enduring and spectacular empire, Rome, was built on slave labor.
Came to a pretty unpleasant end, though.
Which brings us neatly to you.
I took the precaution of disarming it. I also took the precaution of taking the Commodore into my confidence.
Throw him in the brig.
No. No. I'm not your enemy. Without me, you wouldn't exist. I'm your friend.
You created this psychopaths. Now tell me how to get rid of them.
The Vervoids are not psychopaths.
Doctor, I heard them say they intended to wipe us out.
Something must have gone wrong, radically wrong. A malfunction of the DNA.
Why is it none of you can see what's so glaringly obvious?
Well, maybe we lack your divine insight.
No divine insight, just logic.
Logic?
When you overheard the Vervoids, Mel, how did they describe us?
What is it? Animal kind.
Not human beings, not Megarians. Animal kind.
I hope this is relevant.
It is, he's making sense. The Vervoids are plants.
At some stage, directly or indirectly, all animal kind consumes plant life. Without it, we perish.
I must have been blinded by professional vanity. Bruckner saw it. I should have too.
Doctor, if you're right, then coexistence with the Vervoids is an impossibility.
It's a question of self-preservation, kill or be killed.
A conflict in which there can be no justice.
Equally, there's no choice, and that goes for you too, Doctor. We need your undivided commitment.
And there you have it. The direct request. I did not meddle. I was presented with an appeal. And not just from anybody, but from the man in whom authority was vested.
I accept your argument. Nor Valliard can you refute it.
Perhaps we should await the outcome of this adventure, my lady.
Doctor, do you wish to continue?
There's not enough left to make a spoonful of herbicide. The Vervoids must have
Herbicide.
More ideas,
Clever.
Doctor.
Why can't I rid myself of the feeling we're approaching this the wrong way round? Professor, do Vervoid chloroplasts function normally?
A cytogeneticist now. You're a man of varied talents.
Don't prevaricate, Professor.
Yes, Vervoid chloroplasts trap sunlight, as is normal with all plants.
Doctor, there's something out there.
There's another exit.
Not this side of the road. I'm going to talk to them.
They won't listen.
Perhaps they will. To me. I wasn't going to exploit them like that, and they'll know that.
Spare no one.
I have to try.
Doctor!
You must know who I am.
Yes, Professor Lusky. We do.
Then you must also be aware that I mean you no harm.
All animal kind is our enemy, Professor. Even you.
How could they? It's obscene!
Not to a Vervoid.
You can't justify it. It's just...
It's a matter of perspective, Mel. In your house in Pease Cottage, you had a large garden. What did you do with the plants and weeds you uprooted?
Put them on a compost heap.
They're obeying instinct. Like migrating birds or salmon swimming relentlessly upstream to spawn even though they may die. Compulsive following the life cycle. Come on now. We need your help, Commodore.
Name it.
Like the Vervoids, we are being driven by blind instinct. Kill or be killed.
We've been over that.
What if instead of bringing their lives to an abrupt end, we did the opposite, accelerated the Vervoid life cycle?
How the blazes do we do that?
Vianesium,
Vianesium.
a rare metal found on the airless planet of Mogar.
And worth a prince's ransom.
Or a hijack.
You mean there's a consignment on board?
That's right, in the vault.
But how will this Vianesium accelerate the Vervoid life cycle?
It's a substance similar to magnesium. Exposed to oxygenated air, it releases incredibly intense light and carbon dioxide. Spring, summer, autumn. All condensed into a few moments.
Seasons which I may be a long time enjoying again if I go robbing my own vault.
Seasons you can forget if you don't. We've seen what these creatures can do.
You've no alternative, Commodore.
You can't send for outside help. The ship's completely cut off. The doctor's the only hope you've got.
All right, Doctor. You can have the Vianesium. What's the drill?
First, you must drive the Vervoids back to their lair.
Me?
Plunge the ship into darkness.
They're never going to give up!
attention all passengers and crew. A major fault has developed in the generators. To effect necessary repairs, the heating will be shut down and auxiliary lighting only will be in operation.
All vervoids here. There is still another to come. This prophet could be a trick. But coming in, come behind the life support system. They must repair the generator to survive.
Restore power. It's over.
Restore power.
Kill or be killed. Unfortunately, that's the way life is.
Till we meet again. Well, Doctor.
Don't say that. I owe you my thanks, Doctor, but let's make this the sweet sorrow of a final party.
Perhaps you'll remember that the next time we get a Mayday call.
She means that too. Memory like an elephant.
That's his idea of a compliment, comparing me to an elephant.
It's so ludicrously appropriate I find it amusing.
Well, at least if you're laughing, you can't be singing. Have you ever heard his rendering of On with the Motley? Count your blessings. Bye.
Did none of the unfortunate creatures survive, Doctor?
No, my lady. Had even a leaf survived and fallen on fertile soil, a vervoid would have grown.
Every vervoid was destroyed by your ingenious plan.
Yes.
Whether or not the doctor has proved himself innocent of meddling is no longer the cardinal issue before this court. He has proved himself guilty of a far greater crime.
You refer to Article 7 of Gallifreyan law?
No, my lady, that cannot apply. Had a single vervoid reached Earth, the human race would have been eliminated.
Article 7 permits no exceptions. The doctor has destroyed a complete species. The charge must now be genocide.
Well, I will see you guys here in a second.